Hello and welcome to my weekly vlog, Debra, Keirce Art Journey. Thank you for subscribing, that red button down below on YouTube. I want to give you a little cheat today on chroma. Chroma is, you can think of it as saturation, if you're familiar with photo editing, things where you can change saturation. The more saturated your color is, for example, if you're looking at a red, the more saturated it is or the more chroma you have, the more red it is. The more it's mixed in with its complement, in case of red it would be green of course, the more gray or brownish gray that it leans toward. So on that continuum, the high chroma stuff is going to be the most pure, straight out of the tube color. Well, one thing that people often ask me about is how you increase the chroma or the saturation for those bright colors right where you want them, usually around your center of interest. And there is a little cheat. Do you know the difference between transparent and opaque paint? If you look on your tubes, oftentimes it'll either say that it's a transparent color. This one that I'm holding is the Winsor Violet Dioxazine, and that is a transparent color. I know that because I've used it for a long time, but also if you look on the back of it, there's a little square and it's a white square. If that was a black square, it would mean that the color was opaque. If it had a line across it and was half black, half white, it would mean that it was semi-transparent. So what I want to share with you today is this little trick that if you take an opaque white, like titanium white, for example, and you mix it with a transparent color like the Diox Violet or purple, or a transparent rose, or an alizarin crimson, or a phthalo, any of the transparents. At first, when you add that opaque white, you're going to get an increase in chroma. So if you want to increase your chroma, increase your saturation of whatever hue you're working with, and you can add this white and you get this beautiful bright pink or purple or whatever your color is. And when you add more and more white, you'll see that that sort of dissipates. It becomes more of a tint, so it becomes less chromatic. If you, however, have a opaque color, like any of the cadmiums, this one is the Michael Harding Cadmium Orange, and it actually says on the description that it's opaque. So if you remember that all cadmiums are opaque, good for you, otherwise you can check the label. But any of the opaque colors, if you add an opaque white, like titanium white, to it, it will immediately decrease the chroma. In other words, take away that beautiful bright saturated color, which if you are looking for areas of your painting that you want to have orange, but you don't want it to be a screaming orange that distracts from your center of interest, it's very useful to know that as well. So I hope that's a little hint that will help you when you're choosing your colors and thinking about color theory and how to mix things for your next painting. See you next week.